Goeiedag. Good day, fellow South Africans and citizens of the world. And you know what? There's a very interesting article in the Daily Maverick, which I'm going to tell you about. And my read on this is there are a number of members in the senior part of the political ANC government who should actually now be arrested for fake news under the ANC government's own laws. This is all to do with that, you know, that 51% black ownership, otherwise you don't get support from that government fund, which has kind of been claimed to be fake news by the ANC government, but all the chickens are coming home to roost, and I'm going to show you the evidence that this newspaper has brought up. These guys have got nowhere to hide, and if the government is fair dinkum, Small Development Minister Khumbudzo Ntshavheni needs to go behind bars for 6 months for fake news relating to the coronavirus. That simple. Will it happen? No. Because he's one of the cadre, isn't he? He's above the law. But if someone like myself had done that actually in South Africa, I would probably be in a very bad place right now, which is why I'm lucky to be in Australia. All right, let me tell you what the story is. It's common cause that one of the biggest problems in the 21-day lockdown that begins at midnight tonight, that's Thursday the 26th of March, to combat the spread of COVID-19 will be the survival of small businesses. Small businesses, especially in South Africa, have limited balance sheets and only marginal access to finance. Consequently, the Department of Small Business Development, or DSBD, which has up until now been a minor outpost in government, has suddenly got a huge, crucial job on its hands to try to save as many small businesses as possible in what is likely to be a massive economic contraction. Thousands of small businesses will most likely go bankrupt over the next few weeks, and possibly hundreds of thousands of employees will be retrenched. Many have already been let go. Speed is obviously a priority. So President Cyril Ramaphosa on Monday night said the DBSD would make more than 500 million rand available immediately to assist small and medium enterprises that are in distress through a simplified application process. Okay, that all sounds cool. But this is where Ramaphosa didn't tell the truth, which is pretty typical. That simplified application process was widely distributed on social media on Tuesday morning, and many small businesses were horrified at what they saw because it apparently included the stipulation that the government would only assist businesses that are 51% black owned. More than that, it said the beneficiaries had to be 100% South African and 70% of the staff have to be South African citizens. The department's website then crashed, mysteriously. Isn't that convenient? No explanation was given, but it could have been so many small businesses were trying to find out if the rumors were true. Small business organizations were inundated with inquiries, and business owners said they'd just instantly given up, assuming that they wouldn't be helped. Remgro chairman Johan Rupert, who intends donating 1 billion rand to assist small business, quickly said on Twitter that his donation would be available to all South Africans. The document was later in the day disowned by the department as a draft document prepared over a week ago in the department and is still under revision. This is after the website's up. Crazy. And it was not meant to be shared with the public. Well, that's your fault. It was a genuine document coming out of that department, so it is not fake news. That's the bottom line. Anyway, let's continue. But the problem is that the evidence suggests that what the department says is not true. An analysis of the header field, a hidden but examinable part of the documents, shows it was written by Ntshavheni Ratchanidi, oddly the Deputy Director of Strategic Planning at Department of Energy. It was originated on the 23rd of March, and that it was written on computers of the Small Business Department. It is important to note that the header field can be changed, but the DBSD has in this case acknowledged that the document did emanate from it. So, let me show you the proof of what we're talking about here. Furthermore, opposition politicians said on Twitter that the exclusion of non-BEE compliant small businesses had been presented to parliamentarians as a stipulation the department intended to include in its requirements. So, who is the fake news? These are the guys who should be going behind bars for 6 months, because this relates to COVID and reporting fake news. Anyway, let's continue. All the document has been rejected. It's worth noting that the actual application documents that continue to appear on the DBSD website require applicants to specify the race, nationality, and gender of employees and the race of all shareholders individually. These are all required fields. Why do you need that sort of crap if this is going to all small businesses? Clearly, the government are talking through their asses. This is Ramaphosa's Pinocchio nose coming out big time right here. It is not clear what, if anything, these requirements might mean. Questions to the department about how these stipulations will be applied have gone unanswered. They're ducking and diving. I wonder why. The somewhat vague explanations from Ntshavheni in press interviews suggest applications will be considered on a case-by-case basis, suggesting that BEE, Black Economic Empowerment, and local ownership criteria might still be applied, but just more surreptitiously, which would not surprise me at all. What Ntshavheni has remained adamant about, however, is that companies will have to register and will have to be tax compliant, although she says the department will assist in that process. They will also have to provide a whole host of other business information, like turnover, staffing, as well as bank statements and UIF data. The overall impression is one of intense bureaucracy. I would put it differently. I would call it intense incompetence. This is the hallmark of the ANC government. For organizations like AfriForum, these requirements are outrageous. And for this channel, Loving Life channel, outrageous, racially prescriptive and illegitimate. But in fairness to the department, Black economic empowerment is a foundation policy of the government. democratically endorsed by South African voters, including BEE in supporting business, might be questionable from a practical point of view, but it is hardly illegitimate. That to me doesn't work. You know, you're talking about something that is impacting all small businesses in South Africa. It's a virus, there's a shutdown. What the heck does it matter if you're just one white guy working in a business and your business has been destroyed, but because you've got a small business and you're white, you're knocked off the list? That is BS as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, let's continue. The question, however, is whether in the circumstances of a crisis like COVID-19, the government should be applying its transformation policy to what is essentially a national emergency. Exactly. The fact is that a huge number of small businesses, perhaps even the majority of registered businesses, are minority-owned or foreign-owned, but have high proportions of black employees. If the government does intend to try to help small business employees, this may be the wrong time to attempt to throw in the transformational goals, which is clearly what they're doing. Since becoming a minister, Ntshavheni has focused on two things: developing a database of small businesses and supporting first and foremost black businesses. Her antipathy towards foreign-owned businesses has been palpable in many of her public statements. The issue of foreign-owned businesses is also tricky in the COVID-19 lockdown, since many foreign-owned spaza shops, for example, do employ South Africans. They also provide credit to local citizens. Excluding them could also be categorized under the heading of allowing ideological considerations to overwhelm the more pressing practical issue of keeping small business alive during the lockdown. And there is another issue too. It is now a criminal offense to spread fake news about the COVID-19 crisis. But what happens when a minister claims a news item is fake when the evidence suggests it is not? The habit of calling the truth fake, particularly by politicians embarrassed by a leaked document, is now an international phenomenon. But in South Africa there is a difference. The faking of news regarding the crisis is a criminal offense, which brings back the point I raised at the very start of this video. That minister should go behind bars for 6 months for fake news over this coronavirus situation. But will it happen? No, because he's above the law. The justice system in South Africa is a complete and utter joke. Alright guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed. Ring the bell for the updates. Please like this video, please share this video, and above all, please stay safe.